ready to move on to Poof?
Yep.
Let's do it.
I don't see why not.
Poof in general, he's an alright character. He has some spirits he's bringing up. And it's nice to see Timmy have sort of a sibling character to do it. But man, oh man, his intro episode was not the best foot forward.
Yeah.
No, it was not.
It wasn't.
It was the writer's barely disguised fetish.
Yes.
There was a I remember also Carl Weezer from Jimmy Neutron at the time getting a male pregnancy fetish.
Right.
Carl is pregnant?
What?
Yeah, it was really kind of something. And it was the first. But really, there was a trace of a good episode in here. The first fairy baby in 1,000 years, exploring the dynamics of how that could have
10,000 years, actually.
That's right.
Yeah. Right. They were trying to explore that. If they got a little further in that direction and the ramifications of it, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, mostly it's just kind of an episode of Keep Away with a Baby. And
Right.
barely disguised fetishes. Strong Christian values.
Yes.
Strangely enough, I actually find the introduction episode of Poof to be a better episode.
Right. Anti-Poof. That was really good one too.
I'm gonna be honest. I actually kind of like Poof,
Yeah, I do too. He's so funny.
and
Yeah.
and he's voiced by Eric Bauza, like the new Bugs Bunny.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, Boop is?
Mm-hmm.
Who's Eric? Wait, who does Eric Bauza voice in this?
Voices Poof.
Got it.
I did like the one gag of Fairy School where they kept saying "foop" spelled backwards.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, they do that rule of 3. And the winner of this award is Foop, spelled backwards.
That's pretty funny.
Ah.
I'll give it that. And although I can say there was one thing about like the later seasons that actually was better than the original. You want to know what it is?
What?
What's that?
Dark Laser.
Oh, yeah.
I actually think Dark Laser was funnier in the later seasons than the old seasons.
What do you
Right.
think? Flipsy? Flip once for yes, or flip twice to recruit Timmy Turner?
I like that.
Recruit Turner.
Oh, yeah, I liked the Flipsy episode. That one was funny. It just needed a switch.
And like, what I love in like his later seasons is just because that laugh he does. Like, just press the button and there goes bye-bye.
Oh, hey, going back to Dark Laser's intro, wasn't that also the intro episode of one Dr. Rip Studwell?
Oh, yeah.
Butch Hartman self-insert.
Oh, yes. A little creepy when you think of it that way, but yeah.
And
I did
even
like
more so when you realize what he's been up to.
Right.
Isn't it weird that anti-fairies at first could be wished away, then all of a sudden they couldn't?
Right. I do like one line. I do like one little line from him, though. It's when Poof is born, they have the singing, and he's like, that angelic choir is going to cost you extra. Every time I hear an angelic choir, I think of that line.
I also like this line from him. It's when they're trying to cut Poof's hair and like his hair falls off, and he says, "Ain't nothing in the haircut is free."
Right. Yeah. Yeah, Foop and the Poof, and both of them are decent characters in their own right. They get kind of an unfair reputation for derailing the show, but not really. They're still pretty fun on their own.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, the show had a few more duds here and there, and they felt that. And is this the point where Wishology comes in the chronology?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I honestly really like Wishology.
I do too. It took me a while, and it didn't really grow on me when it first aired. But repeat viewings have been good because I notice all the little references and how they really commit to the trilogy aspect of it. This is another one I think that was intended to sort of be a series finale, and it would have been a good one.
And of course, Patrick Warburton actually voices 2 of the agents.
Right? Yeah, I noticed that too.
Like,
and we got actual kiss.
Yeah.
Well, Gene and Paul. The rest I don't think have. No, wait, no, they do. They do talk.
And Brendan Fraser is also great as Turbo Thunder.
Yeah, it took me 3 watches to know that was him. And Turbo Thunder, great twist also. Buck teeth, pig hat, TT.
Yeah, but with Patrick Warburton, I think one of my favorite bits is when he just describes how they're gonna blow him up, and they go, "Plastic, back to wherever it came from." We call it Operation Blow That Thing Up. It's gonna be awesome.
Right.
Funny story. I actually got to see Kiss's final concert.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Thanks.
That's a cool story. But yeah, Kiss was in this episode, and them being super dimensional fairies is not unheard of. I mean, Scooby-Doo basically did the same thing.
Yeah.
But they did this, and they played the one song of theirs everyone knows.
Yep.
And I do like how this episode kind of establishes that Trixie is the one that is Timmy's true love. I do like that.
Yeah,
I know
not
Tootie. It's
Yeah, I hate Tootie.
she's a stalker.
I dealt with my own internet stalkers, and let me tell you, you don't want them.
I've dealt with real life stalkers.
Yikes.
But yeah, that's kind of it. I feel like Tootie could be better if they didn't make her stalkery. Like if she came up just one few times and had the precocious crush, that would be fine.
There was only one time where I thought Tootie was funny. It was in that Bed and Breakfast episode with Crocker and Darth Laser, because there
Aren't
she was.
you a little too young to be wearing lipstick?
Don't push my buttons, Buster, and I won't push yours. I like her there because she's actually an antagonist.
Right, I was thinking I was gonna do the Phineas line. Yes, I am. but that's another one. But we had this pretty good one. We finally got Timmy kissing Trixie, and she's less of a bee now.
And heck, Vicky even feels sorry for Timmy because she goes, "I'll never call him a twerp again."
Yeah.
This kind of feels more like a series finale than Channel Chasers.
Yeah, honestly, it does, because it has all the characters and it has everyone working together to do something.
Why did Jorgen have to reset everyone's memory?
Because
I feel like Jorgen's the real antagonist of the show.
I agree. He was the villain in that action episode.
I still remember when I saw Wishology when Jordan says, "Oh, by the way, I'm going to wipe everyone's memories." I was just like, "Oh, come on!"
Yeah. But yes, still Wishology. But not only to have a movie, but a trilogy of movies. That was pretty ambitious.
I just realized we basically skipped most of season 6 because it's just filled with baby plots and an episode where Vicky becomes a dentist.
And the fairy
or doctor.
Yeah, it also the Fairy Olympics. While they promoted Fairy Idol in season 5, season 6 was alongside the Beijing Olympics.
You know, I was still watching Fairly OddParents at that time as episodes were airing.
Vicky got fired that season.
Oh God, I hated that episode. But anyway,
Yeah.
But yeah, I barely remember that Olympics episode. Literally, the only thing I can remember about it now is the ending.
I remember the cling from Jorgen.
Yeah, Jorgen clinging the medals with his pecs.
You know, I just thought of a joke for Cosmo pregnancy. Daddy, did you get pregnant with me? I can actually imagine kids asking that.
Oh,
by the way, Pregnant Cosmo is where the most recent Fairly OddParents meme image comes from.
Well, oh yeah, the strong Christian overtones.
Yes.
The one with Cosmo yelling in Timmy's face.
Oh, that one. Yes. That stupid meme. I know what you're talking about. I prefer the one where SpongeBob is screaming from the movie, though.
Oh yeah, I love this. Yes. Yeah.
Right.
It's weird that's the meme, even though that neither one of them are saying "I love this." In fact, if anything, Cosmo was panicking.
Right. Yeah. Both of them are direct misquotes, but the template.
Then again, the SpongeBob sitting up meme is actually him sitting down in the actual episode.
Right. Like I'm a head out. Nope. He's sitting.
Yeah.
up.
Like. Yep. I'm gonna sit down.
Context is dead.
Exactly. Thank you, Twitter.
Twitter is where context goes to die.
Speaking of Twitter, no way, that's season 10. We'll talk about that. Season 7 opens up with anti-poop.
Oh yeah.
And this time we have a normal fetish that's not creepy.
What is that?
Anti-Wanda getting pregnant.
Oh, female pregnancy, right. Yeah.
Like I said before, I do like Poop. Like, heck, even when he cries, I think that's funny.
Yeah. And he goes from being happy to being angry.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting Eric Bowser playing a baby is new. But while Tara Strong already played a baby before Poof, she was Dill.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Although Eric Bowser did also do some other voice work for the Fairly OddParents, and you guys want me to just tell you what it was?
Yes.
I brought some friends home. Well, one friend and one harbinger of doom. It's gonna be huge. Yep, that was him.
Oh jeez.
Who was that?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We're still on season 7.
Right. Season 7 was pretty typical. I think
There was an episode where all the lights were out. Like everything was dark and cheap.
Right.
There was also an episode where they were farmers, and then Timmy thought it would be a good idea to kill himself.
Oh no! Here we go again.
Yeah, like he's pretty much forced to do all the farm work for his dad, and when he sees the tornado coming, he says, "Hey, maybe toss some water in it, or maybe the tornado will probably rip my flesh and bones apart. Either way, win-win."
Originally I put that as the worst episode of the series, but I'll be honest, I don't think it was at least trying to teach that message. It's still terrible. It's probably my second least favorite now, but not the worst.
Yeah, it's so crazy how these things can go around. Yeah,
Like what? I does have I do like the opening joke of it at least with Timmy's dad in the driveway.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, Timmy. But this was around the time I dropped the show, so it's kind of a mystery. I have seen some.
Oh, I dropped in season 6.
Right. I have seen some Sparky episodes though, so.
We're not there yet. We still got season 8. Wasn't a typical season. It was just 5 specials.
Right. That's what.
Well, let's talk about each one of them in order. What was the first one?
You tell me.
Fuck it. Fine. Let me look it up.
Yeah, I'm looking at. Yeah, and after this is the extra stuff.
Yeah, let me look this up first. Here it is. Oh, there was 6 of them. There were 6 specials. The first one is something called Love Triangle. Poof and Poof compete with each other for the lead role in a spellementary. Yes, it's called Spellementary School play, along with a triangle-shaped fairy baby named Goldie Goldenglow. I saw it once and remember nothing about it.
Okay.
All I remember is that Kauso just kept saying how much like he hates his marriage with Wanda.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's a running trend in the later seasons. Cosmo seems to resent Wanda. I mean, it happened in the earlier seasons, but it seemed to only increase later on.
Right. After that's the big one and the plot point I hinted at with Timmy turning 10 perpetually.
Timmy's secret wish.
That is why he turns 10 perpetually.
I will do a Ryan animation review on this someday, like maybe next year, but there's a lot to say about this one.
It is messed up.
Like I know a lot of cartoons don't like to age up the characters, but that doesn't mean you need to give an explanation for it. And are we just gonna ignore that Timmy went right back to square one at the end?
Yeah. Yeah, they should have progressed it so now he's 20.
Something. Well, wait for the live action remake.
Right.
Sure, yeah, where he's 20 and he's voiced by Dennis from SpongeBob.
Right.
Seed.
Wait, that was Dennis?
Yeah, Alec Baldwin was adult Timmy.
Oof.
No. I'm talking about Fairly Odder.
No. That wasn't him.
Right.
So in the Channel Chasers, that's him.
No, yeah, Channel Chasers. That's Alec Baldwin.
Right.
So the next special is about the invasion of the dead. Look! Okay, Jackson and I like to say this all the time, so let's say it together. 1, 2, 3. Look!
Look!
It's Timmy!
Timmy!
Hi, Timmy!
Like, in my opinion, Invasion of the Dads is the fucking weirdest episode of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here's the thing, like, me and Rebecca first saw this episode, like, we didn't know that there was, like, a first episode about this. And Timmy just nonchalantly says, oh, that must be where the plan, that's to where the plan of my dads are at. I'm like, huh? I'm like, that is the weirdest way to bring up a past episode I've ever seen. Just nonchalantly bring up, oh, it's from the planet of the dads I wished up.
Yeah.
I'm like, and there's just like a whole planet of nothing but Timmy's dad.
Jeez.
It is bizarre.
Right. After that's when losers attack. Worst acronym ever.
Like, great enough, I actually do like when Dark Laser, Crocker, and Poof team up. Like, the rest of the episode is just, Like,
it doesn't matter.
Right.
I do like when Dark Laser, Crocker, and Poof interact. Like, that stuff was actually pretty great.
Yeah. Huh.
Like, I just love how Dark Laser keeps wanting the team name to be the Flipsies.
Yep.
Is your mother single?
Ah, what is wrong with you? Besides everything!
Yeah, but basically, the role of Timmy Turner, basically everyone who's played that role has either had something horrible happen or been some sort of scandal. We had Mary Kay Bergman died, Tara Strong got entangled in NFTs, Alec Baldwin killed someone.
Wait, what? Oh, was that the accident?
Yep.
Yeah.
So oh no,
then
Dennis actually accidentally killed someone.
Right. And then Drake Bell also had his share of scandals.
Well, moving on.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the role of Timmy is cursed. So, we have Meet the Odd Parents as the last special.
This I think it would have also worked as a series finale, other than or rather the episode before the episode before Wishology.
Right. Yeah, because it's the main crux of the show. Timmy can't reveal his godparents.
Right.
Yeah, and I do like how, Jordan is actually, reasonable. Like we say, it's not that simple. Actually, it is that simple.
Yes. Yeah, but that's the whole crux. What would happen if Timmy were to expose his godparents?
But okay, I guess it's time to move on to the inevitable.
We still have the extras to go for, like the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour and the
Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Finally,
there was
quality.
There was a certain magic to the first one, like a certain captivating quality to see these two characters interact. Their premises are very similar, but their personalities and sense of humor are completely different. So to have them blend together is amazing.
It also led to the Knitteens Unite games, and I played those games like crazy. Those games were the shit. I love the heck out of those games.
Yeah, they commonly say Jimmy works well in 2D, Timmy not so much in 3D, but I think that adds a little to the charm.
Right.
I actually don't mind Timmy in 3D. Like, I've seen worse in 3D.
Yeah,
Like Jordan.
I have too. And again, it kind of stands with the contrast that he's different from the rest. It was just so great seeing these characters not only meet but shake hands and talk to each other and blend art styles, which I again wish more shows would do. Yeah. And they both screw up in their typical on-brand ways, but in the different show.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically these two shows were perfect for collaboration.
Yeah. I forget.
I think the first one was the best one, but the second and third one had problems.
The second one has a little problems. Third one I barely remember. I only remember them playing basketball in the void or something. Yoda Jax, was the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour the first one on your best cartoon crossovers list?
I think it was. I think I might have to redo it, seeing how I saw a lot of more crossovers. But like, I still think the first one was pretty good.
Yeah, the first one just had a certain magic to it. The others couldn't replicate because I was okay. We've seen it once. That's good. They did fine. It was perfect. No need for more.
Although I do like Professor Calamitous in the second one, and I do love Shirley in the third one. Like he's like the villain that Jimmy and Timmy create. I thought he was pretty fun.
Oh yeah.
More airplane references. Don't call me Shirley.
Right.
Yeah, like basically he's actually just like a nice guy who just like happens to be a villain. Like when he reads a note saying that Jimmy Timmy meet us in Retroville, he just goes, "Oh, that was thoughtful. I will destroy them there."
All right. Yeah. And then a man of magic versus a man of science. That's just pretty genius.
Yeah.
But we had all that and this one thing. What other extras do we have besides the
A live action Fairly OddParents?
Yeah,
the
besides
movies.
that though. Anything else?
There was the School's Out special.
Oh yeah, School.
Oh, I like that. I really do love
the
the music.
Pixies were the villains this time.
Yeah.
I think this has the best music of the show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I will admit, I'm not too big on Schools Out of the Musical. Like, it's fine. But I will say this about Fairy Idol. My favorite musical number is this. Not Pixies! Not Pixies!
Oh yeah. Ben Stein.
Let's hear it for the... Let's hear it for the Pixies!
We're lawn gnomes!
We're lawn gnomes!
Right. Yeah, but even Ben Stein's singing is in monotone.
Yep.
I think those are different singers as the Pixies.
Right. Okay, maybe, but they do a good job copying. But yeah, it's a pretty nice premise, and again, this it's out. I'd probably put this one as second to Channel Chasers as one of my favorite specials. So, yeah, it's this Channel Chasers and Wishology, and maybe Anti-Poof. Those four specials I do recommend on their own. Catastrophe has some problems, but I guess you could try for it. And then, of course, there's the horrendous Fairly Odd movies. I only saw the first one, disclaimer.
Yeah, I saw the first one as it aired. My dad actually walked in as it was ending, and we both just said the same thing. That was the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Are you talking about the ending with Poof being voiced by Randy Jackson?
Oh.
And everything preceding it.
Ah.
That was dumb. That was so... God, why?
I feel like quoting that one famous guy, like, hide your kids, hide your wife guy. I'm just like, this is dumb. This is very dumb. For real.
Oh, yeah. The bedroom intruder guy. That was just so... And it was such a mess. The CGI was awful, and it didn't even feel like the cartoon. Like, the sense of humor didn't even try to match. It was just, here's Zalmantics. Here's a 23-year-old who thinks he's 10. Here's what they do with it.
Isn't that creepy when he's still in elementary school?
Like in animation, they could like, and me and Rebecca were talking about this, and one of the things that animation does better than live action is exaggeration. When you do this kind of stuff in live action, it's just very underwhelming and really creepy.
Right. Like, they tried to recreate Crocker's fairy godparents freak out. It just looks so awkward in live action.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give the actor credit. He was trying his best.
Yeah.
But you just can't do anything with this.
Right. Isn't Darren Norris actually in this?
He's Timmy's dad.
Yeah. That's some dedication to the character. I'll give him that. Yeah, at least he probably did give the best performance of the crew. So that's dedication to the character.
He's a seasoned actor. I mean, you can't beat Gordy from Ned's Declassified, but gosh darn it, he can try.
Right. Yep. But he's able to pull it off here. But this whole special was just like cringe capital.
Like, I feel like these specials are hated just on a conceptual level by a lot of the animation community. because of how much it renages from the end of Channel Chasers. With Timmy accepting he's going to grow up someday to complete denial in this movie.
Yep.
Oh, and the ending that justifies how he can keep his fairies as an adult, like, yeah, it's obvious there are sequels planned, and you just had to, bullshit a reason to justify them.
Yeah, the third movie even actually ends with Timmy becoming a fucking fairy.
Right.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't see the others, so...
Basically, there's, like, this magical orb bullshit that he has. He falls in the lava, pretty much dies, but the fairy morphed with, like, that was morphed with Timmy's sacrifice, I guess, turns him into a fairy.
What a cop-out!
Like, at least Tara Strong is still voicing him. When?
O-U-T! Cop-out!
Like, of all the dumb ideas you could come up with an ending, you'd go with that. Like, congratulations for being so dummy-dumb.
This was what solidified to... This was kind of like what I consider the shark jumping moment. Even more than the later seasons, even more than...
Ironically enough, there's a deleted song from Channel Chasers about Timmy jumping the shark.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
With the Bonds.
Yeah.
Happy Days, the original.
With Timmy becoming a fairy, of all the dumb ideas that Butch Hartman's had, that was one of them.
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
Well, guys, are we ready?
I think, I'll be honest, I think I prefer that ending than Fairly Odd, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah,
well,
we'll get there.
Yeah. But,
are we ready?
Seasons 9 and 10.
No, we're not.
The new character season.
Exactly.
Whatever happened to Sparky anyway? Did they put him down old Yeller style?
The reason was because the voice actress had issues.
Oh. Contractual issues? Health issues?
Gender issues. Transgender issues.
I see. Oh yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
I like this chew toy!
I like you! I like everything! I like this chew toy!
Yeah,
I mean,
I did
after watching Bunch of the Bees, I can't say Sparky's the worst anymore, but...
Yeah, you know, I saw Sparky's debut episode, and I think that was the last episode I ever watched.
Yeah. Good stopping point. I'm like, he's a magical dog. He's basically a ripoff of Doug from Up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at least Doug was charming.
Yeah, at least Doug was fun. He had some sort of humor too. But Sparky's just desperate.
Was this also where they changed the animation style?
No,
like updated the theme song at least, because I seem to recall like
that was for Chloe.
I seem to recall like there are versions of the theme song where you can clearly tell that there was a restyling, because like when Cosmo and Wanda wink, instead of like the exaggerated wink, it's just their eyes closing and opening.
Oh,
like a pair of doors.
The new Butch animation. The new Butch animation. Yes, that's where this came from.
Yeah,
like the theme song.
That is soulless.
The changing of the lyrics, though. The changing of the theme song lyrics, though. That was when Chloe came around.
That I'm aware of.
Yeah, we'll get to her later.
Yeah, but Sparky was short and sweet. How did they write him out of the show?
They just did.
They didn't. They just stopped using him.
Like, they just pulled a Judy from Family Manners.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but also they call it check.
Like, it's funny that this show's based off it's funny that Butch was inspired by The Simpsons, but The Simpsons knew never to reuse never add new characters.
They made a whole episode about how they would never do that.
I have to go now. My planet needs me.
Right. And then Sparky did basically the same thing. But
yeah, and Roy, who was just in that one Simpsons episode they were talking about, never pops up again. He's just like, listen, goes in a hotel with some smoking babes.
Yeah.
This document conforms to all applicable laws and statutes.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, but again, I only saw one Sparky episode, so how does this season go?
I'm going to assume not good.
But there was one, like in the anti-Sparky episode, there was one joke with the Grim Reaper that I liked.
Oh,
Like,
great.
He was voiced by Paul Rudd. Like, he was a writer on Animaniacs and was the voice of Freakazoid. And there was one joke with him. Like, he calls his mother, and he goes, "Hey, Mom, it's a Grim Reaper." And we hear her crying as he goes, No, that's not why I'm calling. I'm like, that joke was actually a little funny.
Oh, great. They added an anti-counterpart. How many characters is this? This is really overstuffed. It's like there's 5 different plots going on. That's way too much stuff for an 11-minute segment.
Yeah. Even if they were to do hour-long specials.
Yeah, this is just crazy they do that. And then the final nail in the coffin.
Let's talk about Chloe.
Don't you mean Little Miss Perfect?
Yes.
I hate her. I hate her so.
AKA, like the perfect combination of traits that would make one not need a fairy.
Yes. I thought the whole point was that Timmy was depressed and needed some relief.
I'll be honest, I actually think Chloe's a little bit better than Sparky, but not by much. But she causes more plot holes.
She at least has a little bit of a point. A bad point, but still a point. But still, I mean, the whole point of the show is you get fairies because you're depressed. It's like you.
Hey, at least Chloe has a reason, unlike that boy in Fairly Odd.
Right. What's her reason?
Because she tries too hard.
I see. But still,
Is this like an episode where we're supposed to like feel bad for someone who's like perfect at everything?
Yeah.
Because I've only seen that done right once. It was an episode of Recess.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah.
And you feel bad for him because he's not trying to show everyone up, but everyone else sees it that way.
Right.
That was a good episode. I like that a lot.
Yeah. That was good. But Recess is a whole other podcast. But still, yeah, we had Chloe. She was supposed to do it. And how did splitting fairies work anyway?
Someone go into the candle business?
Right, yeah.
Which doesn't make sense because, like, candles starting to go out of style. Which, I guess.
Isn't this the same episode with Duck Lips?
I think so.
Yeah.
But anyway, they kept going, and the animation switched to Flash. I think they had to switch because the studio shut down.
Oh.
And that led to one of the most infamous episodes in all of TV history of animation, Certifiable Super Sitter.
Ooh.
Oh.
I think I've only
Dealt with this nightmare twice. I'm done with that.
I think I've only seen screenshots of that episode. I think I know what you're talking about. Is that where they age up Chloe and Timmy's dad lusts over her?
No.
No. That's
Oh, thank God.
What were they thinking with that episode?
There were thoughts.
Yeah.
That's one where Chloe decides to babysit Poof, this one annoying other fairy, and Timmy's dad.
And it's not fairy, it's an elf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm Sammy Sweet Sparkle. I can turn anything sour and make it sweet.
Yeah. That's just so insane. Butch, you try to have these good, wholesome values, and then you put stuff like this in your show.
Yeah.
I think that's the big problem people have with Butch Hartman. He's a big hypocrite. He tries to...
Also, they have Star Wars references in the episode because Star Wars. And Donald Trump.
Well, they've done Star Wars before.
I brought some friends home. Well, one friend and one harbinger of doom. It's gonna be huge.
Yeah. But
they did Star Wars in Abracatastrophe, even bringing in Jar Jar.
They have Dark Laser as a recurring villain.
Right. Yeah, it just feels at this point Hartman was just doing whatever he wanted, because at this point the show was in its 10th season.
I think he was focusing on Bunsen as a Beast at this time more.
And that got canceled after 2 seasons, so haha.
Wait, Bunsen only got 1 season.
Yeah, and he was also working on the biggest con in streaming service history, Oaxis.
No, he wouldn't start working on that until after he left Nickelodeon.
Right, but he was trying, but still that was a con job.
Keep in mind, people still loved Butch Hartman back in 2017. I did as well. Like, it wasn't until the Oaxis thing where I started to lose respect for him.
How did he make that much money that fast?
How much was he asking for?
65, somewhere in the 65,000 range.
You do know streaming services cost a minimum of $1 billion, right?
Oh, right.
Like, let me put it this way. In 2018, Netflix spent on average $1 billion a month.
No, yeah. So, but he was doing that. Apparently, Oaxis did go live, but it's barely...
Is it up?
I think so, but it's like got like 3 shows worth of content.
Ah, yes. I can't wait to Netflix binge these in 2 hours.
Right. But anyway, a lot of people talk about the final scene of Fairly OddParents, like how bad it was.
Was it the one where Chloe had those vegetable toys?
I think so, but like the last scene of the last episode is just a...
No words, seriously.
No.
I actually don't know what that scene is, so give me a rundown.
No, it's when Chloe gave back a doll to Timmy's dad, and he was gonna wed the 2 vegetables.
Yeah.
Couldn't make this up even if I tried.
Right. You see, a lot of bad stuff or a lot of later runs of shows get vindicated a little later, like mid-season's Family Guy and SpongeBob. People still defend those, but for Fairly OddParents, this was the last impression people had of the show. The Poof seasons get defended, but seasons 9 and 10, nobody's stepping up for them because they were just that bad.
Right. And especially not after everything that Butch was up to afterwards.
Right. Right, he left Nickelodeon in a huff, and we thought that was the end. We mercifully pleaded and begged that was the end. No more Fairly OddParents. At least give us the 4 good seasons and the 2 okay ones.
But it was not meant to be.
Yeah.
Is it finally time?
I think so. I haven't touched this, so Rebecca and Jackson, this is all you.
So the show opens up with Nicolas Cage in a Timmy Turner costume.
It's not actually Nicolas Cage, it just looks like him.
There's also a flashback with terrible editing skills because as an editor, I can tell you that's a terrible effect with what people do with the fades. I'll go more into this some other day. But the point is, Timmy gives his fairies away. It's just that 2D episode again, but without any self-awareness.
And I think this also contradicts the mythology of the show, where Timmy should not know about his parents and how fairies are only transferable under certain circumstances.
I mean, I was able to let it slide with 2D because it was like a one-day thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a better justification. And it also retcons Channel Chasers completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're supposed to pass to Timmy's own kids, not his cousin. That's just so... This is just so crazy. I remember I watched the trailer for Fairly Odd, and I was like, how does this somehow look worse than the Fairly Odd movies?
Yeah, like, how's Monster, like, really... Like, I've never once believed that Cosmo and Wanda were actually there. At all.
Right. There's a little thing we like to call shading and texturing. When you're doing an animated character, you'll usually have a cutout or a reference to show how the lighting would affect them and make it seem more natural.
Yeah, they did this with Roger Rabbit, and that was made 30 years ago.
Almost 40 now. But yeah, they do that, and it just looks really cheap, like the cuts at the screen. Oh, but did you guys ever see Cosmo and Wanda appear in Ned's Declassified? I think we forgot that.
I did. I was actually just gonna bring it up.
That was a hallucination scene, I think. Where Ned just flat out hallucinates Cosmo and Wanda.
That was extra funny because they only had to bring in Wanda's voice actress because Darren Norris was already on that show.
Yeah. Saved a lot of money.
Like, I remember the first time I saw that on TV, I was just laughing my ass off. Of course, I was like 10, but still. It's a trippy cameo, but it makes sense in context, kind of.
Yep. Yeah, and again, it works there because it's a quick gag. So,
right. And plus, Ned's Declassified is basically a live-action cartoon anyway.
Right. The scenarios are all weird and imagined. This one's trying to just be a generic sitcom that happens to have Cosmo and Wanda.
And the choices they made in there were so bad. Like, the only good thing about it is when they brought Crocker back. Like, they brought back his original voice, Charles Rocky, to actually basically play Crocker. But that was only for, like, a little bit in one episode, and that was it.
Yeah.
Front-facing Crocker will haunt your nightmares.
Yeah.
Didn't the animator for that work on the genie from Aladdin?
I think so.
Yeah, one of the animators of the Genie of Aladdin worked on this, and man, what a downgrade.
Yeah. And it has a lot of the same problems as the Fairly Odd movies, but worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never touched this show. The only thing I've seen from it were those brief little ads on Paramount Plus before getting into my show.
What was your show?
Ned's Declassified. I'm doing a rewatch.
Oh, yeah, I should probably do that. I love that show. But it was this. It just goes to show how far it fell, and they dug the hole even deeper. And Fairly OddParents, it used to be good. It used to have those funny gags and a formula that worked. But now it's just been milked dry, and the jokes aren't funny anymore. It's made by people who didn't understand the series.
A real tragedy.
Yeah, so it's really sad to see it fall. It was once second only to SpongeBob in terms of ratings.
How the mighty have fallen.
Right.
I could have said it better myself.
I wish this show ended earlier.
I can't think of another show that's had a harder fall from grace without some
And you'd think the
kind
show
of-
would have ended in 2017, but no, Butch Hartman kept it going, and who knows, it might get a second season, who knows? Or it might be done forever this time.
Right.
Who are we getting? As long as Butch Hartman's alive, so will the Fairly OddParents.
Right, yes. They milked it so hard. I remember they said use 3 words to describe Butch Hartman. I chose unctuous, sanctimonious, flubberdigalian. Look,
Elmer his real name is Elmer Hartman. But he never calls himself that.
Mm-hmm. Well, Butch is easier to say.
Elmer butchered his own name.
Ha.
Yes. But we covered this show from beginning to end, and we said our favorite episodes from the early period, and those are the best of the series.
Indeed.
So,
Yep.
You want to call it a night here?
any closing thoughts?
None. Like, we've been at this for 2 hours.
Wow.
To quote the eternal classic movie, The Lorax, we just need to let it die, let it die, let it shrivel up.
Let it shrivel up and... Come on, who's gonna... Yeah.
Good.